Hey all, let's have some fun today taking this thrift store find. It's a wooden rocking horse. It was just stained. What I did was I went ahead and I'm sanding the rocker part on both sides. And I'm going to be applying some red oxide paint, and that red oxide is my favorite paint from Dollar Tree. Unfortunately, that's not around anymore, but I just love it. I'm using it like a stain. So I sanded both sides of the rocker and I applied some water. When you're working with wood and you just want to give this stained look and get that real grain of the wood out, just wet the wood and just rub your paint on. That way you're not getting that real painted look. It's more of a stained look. And so I'm just rubbing it on around both sides. So once we get that done, we're going to decide what we want to do with the rest of the horse. Well, those of you who are following me, I came into a lot of burlap. I have like 9 big coffee bean bags of burlap. So I'm coming up with a bunch of different ideas. I'm doing a little bit of primitive and rustic right now, and I'm having fun with it. So I decided to take this, instead of painting the horse, like a cutesy little rocking horse, I decided I was going to cut some burlap up and cover it up. Now, let me give you some warning here. This whole project, I just sat down and I had no idea how I was going to decorate or do whatever I was going to do. I'm just sitting down, and this is what do they call it? Free form or free whatever. I'm just decided I'm just going to sit down and record it, and then I would edit it and speed it up. It took me about almost 2 hours to do this start to finish. So what I'm doing is I'm just using some Mod Podge, and I'm taking the burlap, the side without the print, and I'm just gluing it down or Mod Podging it down. This way I can do the iron method. If I had it to do over again, I might have just used Elmer's glue, but for now I'm using Mod Podge. So I'm just doing both sides and I'm ironing it down. And then we're just going to take an X-Acto knife and we're going to just cut around the horse. It's very simple. It's just time consuming. And again, because I didn't know what I was going to do, just sitting down and going for it, I'm making sure I get all the supplies I need and just going from there. So I'm getting the X-Acto knife and I'm going to be just going, and this is a real good thing to use, the X-Acto knife, because all I'm doing is you just feel the edge of the wood because it's a good 1/2 inch thickness, and I'm just going all the way around it, and the burlap it cuts up pretty nice, especially with the Mod Podge, holding it down. So because I ironed it down, it's pretty stuck. I'll add a little bit more Mod Podge where I find that I was missing some. So that, like I just did. And so, just X-Acto knife all the way around. And if you have any little pieces that you may have cut some excess on, you can just patch it up a little bit with some string, some of the burlap string. I'm really having fun, but burlap, what a mess it is. It's a total mess. And so they have these nice little wood eyes on the horse, and I thought, don't do anything to them except for expose them. So I would just cut the burlap around the wood and exposed it. So now I'm all done with one side. We'll be doing the other side, but here's what the one side looks like. So now I'm done with both sides because I figure you didn't need to watch that, right? And so what I'm using is a lighter, and I love using a lighter to burn off the excess burlap. You can do that with jute also if you have the hair. So burlap and jute, basically same material, right? So you just burn off the excess, but cut as much off as you can. Be careful with that. You don't need to start a fire. Just if you've never done it, practice with something else, but I've done this technique often, so I'm pretty familiar with what needs to be done. You just do not want to have a lot of flame going. You don't want to have a lot of red embers, so you're just going to do it here and there. And it's just a real easy cleanup, as you can see. And since I'm using burlap and wanted that kind of a rusticy, primitive look, it kind of enhances the little guy. So now I have some ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree, and I am just running it around. It's about, what, a little over an inch. So I'm running it around, yeah, about an inch around the horse. And it's overlapping a little bit on each side, but that's okay because that's going to give it a really finished look in a second. So I'm still using the Mod Podge, but then when I go to rub the sides, the overlap down, I'll be using hot glue. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want it to stick right now. And so I'm just using the hot glue just to give it a little better stick. And what that does is when you're using the heat tool, you can put the hot glue where you want it, and if you get a little flyaway or you want to make, if it was a little thick, all you need to do is use the heat tool to get the glue liquefied again, I guess, and then you can just manipulate it as you need it. And it's not as hot when it's coming as it is when it's coming out of the glue tool. So I'm just going around the edges and I'm just pushing down the excess all around both sides of the horse, and it's just looking so cute. I can't tell you how much fun I had making this, and just like I said, I was just coming up with it on the fly. It just lets your imagination go. I had no idea I was going to love this as much as I am loving it. And so once we get that all done, then we need to think about the bridle for the horse. I'm just going all out here. So what I did was I took some jute and I took that red oxide paint because I didn't want it a bright color. I wanted it to go with the rustic look. And I just dyed the jute, the red oxide, and I dried it up with my heat tool. And now I'm just wrapping it around to make it look like a bridle. And now I'm going to make a little saddle for him. So I took some burlap that I got at Hobby Lobby, and it's like a burlap ribbon or mesh, more of a ribbon for a wreath. And then I cut this way that I wanted it. And then to take some of that brightness off, I took some stain and I just rubbed it on there on the red. And now I'm just gluing it down. And that is just so simple. Just gluing it down, and I think it looks really cute. I took a couple strands of the burlap around the whole thing and to give it a little frayed look, kind of like a blanket. And so that's just really cute. I'm just loving it. And I think this could be for year round, right? I don't think it's just a Christmas time, decoration. Oh boy, it would look cute in a child's room if you did it in gingham. I did my daughter's room in gingham when she was little, so the buffalo check would look good too. So now I'm thinking, okay, I need to do some buttons. Should I put stars or buttons? What should I do? So I haven't glued the saddle down all the way yet. I'm just kind of letting it sit there while I'm thinking of what I'm going to do. So I'm looking for my buttons. I decided I'm going to go with the buttons. So here they are. So now I made a big mess. I'm trying to figure out what buttons I'm going to use. And guess what I found? I found two gingham to match the saddle, the red and black gingham buttons that I had left. And so I'm using those and I'm putting them down at the mouth part of the bridle. I guess, is that the bit? The bit, I think that's what it's called. And I'm done. I glued the rest of the saddle down, and I just couldn't be more pleased with the way this turned out. So don't be afraid to go to the thrift store, find something, and make it something new. Just use your imagination. I am so in love with this. I sent pictures to Ozzy. I sent pictures to everybody just saying, look at this. I'm so excited. So I had fun, and that's all what it's all about. So I encourage you to go thrifting or take something you have around the house and make something new with this. Thanks for watching.